Yo, 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 what's up, wrestling fans? It's your boy E here with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. Hoping you guys had an amazing week. We had a whole week of wrestling. Obviously, Monday Night Raw, Tuesday NXT, Wednesday Dynamite, Thursday, Impact Wrestling, also Ring of Honor. But tonight you have Friday Night SmackDown. Um, I know it's not live like right now, but it was previously taped because they're airing it in France, so it came out a long time ago. But like I said, and like I always do, I promise you guys that I have not looked at anything at all. So those who are joining me and it's like let's see what this guy has to say. Like let's have a nice little conversation about what potentially might happen on WWE SmackDown. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today lined up. We have our Thursday Night Wrestling review. We're going to talk about what happened on the Impact. Also heading toward Under Siege, which was also live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific on Access TV. And then we're also going to segue into our WWE SmackDown preview. And then we're going to talk about WWE Backlash, my predictions, and as always, every Friday fourth segment, we're going to have our wrestling news roundup where I give you guys some cool wrestling factoids to kind of take into the weekend, just in case you might run into another wrestling fan and you might, you're looking for things to talk about. You're like, what do I talk about? Oh, yeah, that's right. My boy E here on the GSMC Wrestling Lawyer podcast got me covered. So, we're going to talk right on to that. But before we move on, I want to remind you guys that we get a number of questions that come in from viewers like you during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net with your questions. Just put your questions up on top so I can see it. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you want to talk about in the podcast. Tell me potential storylines. I want to hear your predictions. I want to hear, where you guys think certain superstars are going to go, especially with Backlash. This is the first, well, not the first pay per view or the first really like big event that's happening under the Paul Levesque era. But ultimately, this is kind of like a nice little, every main event matters. Every, show matters. So it's going to be interesting to see like where they decide to go with France and SmackDown. So, leave a positive review. If not, if you're leaving criticism, please don't break my heart. Just kidding. No. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. I love criticism. Feedback is a gift. Positivity, I love that too. At the GSMC Sports Network, we love peace, love, and positivity 110% all the way. That's all gravy, baby. So again, the link is the GSMC, podcast.net. So let's go ahead and jump on into our first segment. We're going to talk about a Thursday Night Wrestling review, which was actually, it's a pretty good one. It was a pretty good one. So we have Mustafa Ali defeating Chris Bay in X Division, X Division. Is it not champ? It wasn't a championship match. It wasn't a championship match. It was like just like a fight between the X Division, the champion, and Chris Bay, which was kind of like I thought it was really good because Chris Bay was trying to kind of do Ace Austin and Trey Miguel like a solid to like kind of kick him down and be like, you know what, like this guy has a championship at Under Siege heading to, in Albany, New York tonight. So like, let's make him lose. But ultimately that did not happen. Mustafa Ali defeated Chris Bay. And now he's, riding some pretty high confidence there. He built that momentum, so it's going to be hard for Ace Austin to, to dethrone the X Division champion. So next we have Alicia Edwards defeating Danny Luna. And then we have the Sin City Street fight between Hammerstone defeating Cody Deaner. Ace Austin, like I said before, defeated Trey Miguel. Jordan Grace retains against Miyu Yamashita. Very impressive. I love Jordan Grace. Seeing her on WWE Royal Rumble. I gotta be honest, a lot of people like, and I'm guilty. I was guilty of this as well. Like they see these superstars that come from like not your average WWE or AEW product, and you're like, man, who the hell is that? So then you had to Google Jordan Grace, and honestly, her accolades like define her and her illustrious career so far, and she's just starting. So good for her. Would absolutely love to see her like keep doing what she's doing in TNA. if she finds a way to make it up to WWE, which was kind of like a forbidden door in the professional wrestling industry. Because for the longest time, WWE alienated itself from TNA, Ring of Honor, AEW, and in the past WCW, NWA, et cetera, et cetera. Just to kind of I think WWE kind of thought of themselves like more like kind of highly of them, those companies and stuff like that. And I think once when Vince McMahon kind of went under and Paul Levesque took over, he kind of, saw this as not an opportunity to kind of merge brands and be like, oh, we're better than these guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just the brand. It's not just the brand. You also have to think about like the superstars that are involved. In AEW, IWGP champion, um, John Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose. He would be pretty cool to have back in like a WWE fight with like imagine like a Seth Rollins match. That would be pretty cool. Also, you kind of have Will Ospreay in AEW. You have Jordan Grace, like I mentioned before. It would be super dope to kind of see that Forbidden Door open. Even Natalia, from the Hart family, of course, the Hart Foundation, had an opportunity where she was sending tweets, kind of like hidden messages that maybe could have broke down the fourth wall on Forbidden Door, having wrestling promotions kind of, intertwined with WWE, which has been absolutely foreign and absolutely like, blacklisted in WWE in the past. So honestly, if they do something, with that in the future, that'd be pretty cool. But I don't want to go off on a tangent and talk about conspiracy theories here. But ultimately, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? So, moving on, we had Joe Hendry's apology concert was basically just a way to kind of get under AJ Francis and Rick Swan's just kind of get under their skin a little more, like what I mean, trying to push that envelope there. So I thought that was pretty cool. Matt Hardy made Speedball Mountain honorary members of the Hardy family, which is I think that's cool. I think that's cool. You had the Broken Man Hardy going, and he returned. He signed with Ring of Honor. No, he signed with TNA, and ultimately, like a lot of people kind of saw him fading away from the wrestling industry, especially with Jeff Hardy's contract not being picked up. So I honestly like the move that Matt Hardy made, and he's gonna represent the TNA brand like pretty well. Obviously every match he's in, every promo, every storyline, it's gonna be unpredictable. And that's what wrestling fans love. They love the unpredictability of the professional wrestling industry. So, definitely rooting for that. You have Eric Young and Josh Alexander sending a firm warning to Macklin and Kazarian. And of course, after Jordan Grace's successful title defense, you saw Stephanie Launder kind of come out with Connor. Connor used to be part of the Ascension in WWE. I like that tag team. I thought they were badass. They kind of had the dark faces and stuff like that. A little demonic, but you gotta love yourself some wrestling entertainment. Gotta love it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And just kind of taking a peek into TNA Under Siege. Like I said, it's happening tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific in Albany, New York. We have Hendry against Zach Wentz, Ash by Elegance looking to build momentum against Havoc. The FBI is in action tonight. You also have, a TNA Knockouts Tag Team World Championship match between Spitfire and Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich. And then you have Jonathan Grisham making his return against Kushida. The Laredo Kid, the digital media champion, is going to fight. I think it's a non-title match against Rick Swan. But hey, who knows? Maybe like they get there and Rick Swan's like, hey, if you're so confident that you think you're going to beat me, put that title on the line. I think that would be pretty badass. I think that would be amazing. Obviously, you up the ante. Furthermore, it ups the audience's intentions and also their, interest in the match itself. So definitely should be pretty awesome to see that. Also, we see Hammerstone against Jake Something. Alexander and Young take on Macklin and Kazarian. And the X Division Championship match between Mustafa Ali and Ace Austin's going to be pretty badass. The X Division in TNA Impact Wrestling has been by far definitely been one of the best things to watch in professional wrestling. Kind of like, I want to honestly kind of compare it to like the Intercontinental Championship, kind of like the title, kind of like the range, kind of like the division inside the WWE. The X Division Championship has been there for so very long since it peaked, since TNA peaked back in 2006. But ultimately, I feel like Mustafa Ali's, I think he's going to pick up the victory. It'd be kind of crazy to see him drop the title here, but, honestly, a little unpredictability does about it good. So next we have PCO and Grace is going to fight against Stephanie Launder and Khan in a tag team, in a mixed tag team match. And then we have the System is going, which can, consist of Moose and his boys, are going to fight against Matt Hardy and the new honorary members of the Hardy family, Speedball Mountain. So I think that should be pretty badass as well. A lot of stuff to look forward to under Siege. Can't wait to watch highlights and stuff like that. So absolutely, should be pretty cool. Next is Ring of Honor. We're gonna move on. We saw the Infantry defeating the Outrunners last night, and Nylon Rose, making her come back into the ring, defeated Cameron Brene, and he saw the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, the Undisputed Kingdom, defeat the Crown in a Proving Ground match. Toa Lianoa defeated Jimmy Wild. The Dark Order defeated Adam Priest, Ziki Dice, and Sean Mulata. Aaron Solo defeated John Cruz and Queen. And I was actually pretty pleased when I found out this happened, that Queen Aminata defeated Robin Renegade, because the Queen, to be honest, like she's been around the like kind of like the big gist of what Ring of Honor really has to offer. Like she was in that tournament for the women's TV television championship, was basically there. Starks had a little, she had a little, she had her own strategy to kind of win the match overall. But honestly, I love the Queen. I love the Queen. I think she's going to do big things. I don't know if she's good enough to dethrone Athena. I'm not saying that she's bad enough not to be the one to do that if it has a shocker, value all of a sudden. But ultimately, this girl, she knows how to wrestle. She knows how to, draw storylines. She knows how to do promotions. She has, she she has a lot to prove. She feels like she has this unfinished business with the MIT. Obviously, like I said before, the tournament championship with the television women's championship, and just Athena. It wouldn't surprise me if the next, pay-per-view or the next main event that she's going to be the next one to fight Athena for her championship. Honestly, I would kind of want that to happen. I, as a wrestling fan, dabbing myself into TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan Wrestling whenever I can. Um, I would love it. I think that would be pretty cool. That'd be like a dynamite, play there by the wrestling organization or the promotion. So, yeah. Well, guys, don't go anywhere. Hope you guys like my Thursday night wrestling review. But next, we're going to talk about our WWE SmackDown preview. We are in France today. Like I said before, it's not live right now. Usually at 8 p.m., I'm a little on edge, like on edge. I'm like, oh my God, like I can't wait to watch SmackDown, But I'm with my wrestling peeps. Love you guys. Pretty badass. Maybe one of these days we should have a watch party. That'd be pretty dope. But ultimately, I feel like excited to watch SmackDown. But first you got to preview it. Like I said before, I have not checked a single blog, vlog, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, imagine that. I'm a guy throughout the whole entire day. I don't know if any of you guys could actually support this. Have you checked your Instagram today? Have you checked your Twitter? Have you checked your Facebook? I bet a lot of you, no. I bet you guys have checked it like the moment you wake up. It's like a natural human response and stuff like that. But I don't know. I have not. And Scout's honor. So hey, don't go anywhere. We'll dig right on into this. So hey, stay with me.